Hey, Gems, it's your girl Chantel, the Gem herself. I am reporting live today from me office. So if you see, the paintings on the wall, which I'm not sure if you can see all of them, but that is where I am. I am in my office today. This is the office that I plan on setting up for our episodes to come, right? So get used to me with paintings behind my head and so forth. Okay, let's jump into today, okay? Because this was a heavily requested episode, which I am so thankful to all of you that interact with me on my many platforms and give me ideas and things to talk about. Today's episode was actually triggered by something that I am personally going through, so I am going to, divulge a little bit of information about myself. I do want to start this episode off with letting you know that there is a heavy trigger warning for this episode. We are going to be talking about depression, PTSD, all the icky feelings, and battling those while being a business owner. Okay? I'm even going to go a step further, apologies, and say that this is about battling PTSD, depression, any mental angst, and being a Black woman business owner. Why? That's my plight. That is what I know. That is what I'm going to be talking about because, again, this conversation was triggered off of something that I was personally going through and that other people just kind of chimed in that they really would like to hear someone talk about. So, further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. I did not do my makeup today because, there may be some tears involved. So, be patient with me. We are all growing. I am too. So, to start, what triggered this conversation for me? All right, y'all. So, I've been very, very vocal about the fact that I have been diagnosed with PTSD. Okay. PTSD, there's levels to this. Man, there really is. I have really, really dark days, y'all, and still get on Facebook and go, hey, how you doing? How's everyone doing? I love you all. How's, if you need to vent, let me know. And that's kind of something I'm working on. But there's dark days where I wake up and literally just don't want to do anything. And I'm going to try not to get too dark. But some days, that includes me not wanting to breathe. Ugh. And I know it sounds cringy, me saying it, and I apologize if this is a trigger for you. But this is kind of what we're talking about. So if this is too heavy for you right now, babes, I do highly recommend that you turn me off. I'm not going to feel any kind of way whatsoever, but this is what we're diving into today. So if you're willing to take this ride with me and you feel like you're emotionally stable and able to have this conversation, I invite you to have it with me. With that being said, I do know that I have a bigger purpose here on earth, and I know that you do as well. Those feelings that I get when I'm like that, I have tools in place to help me get through them. I do actively see a therapist every week, which if you need a Black woman therapist, let me know. I have before recommended and I will continue recommending my therapist's office. If you need anything, let me know. And she's perfectly fine with that. So, again, let your girl know if that is something that you need or if you need the resources to find someone similar, okay? I do have tools in place, like I was saying, that help me through those moments. Now, another thing that I have been very vocal about is I own many different streams of income. Right? And I'm not going to lie to you. Sometimes there's no income flowing in from any of them. And I'm literally just putting in the work and not seeing the return. And a lot of my businesses since I am so invested in my community, involve me being, involve my audience being other Black women. Okay? And I love us very much, but we are very hesitant to buy, support, or do anything for anybody else. There's a lot of us that are like, no, I shop Black. Hey, girls, like, comment your store or whatever, but there's just so many of us compared to the amount of women who are actually supportive of our own. It doesn't balance itself. So when you have a business, for instance, Soul Sisters COL, my LLC, was founded initially to host gatherings for Black women only. They were Black women VIP only events. It started out being just gatherings at my home, but I was trying to open it up to going to dinners, having like actual venues and doing things of that nature. But when I changed it from being a free service to a service that you had to pay for, the interaction greatly declined. So I went through a moment there where what I was spending money on wasn't making me any in return. And previous to that, I was working for, I'm not going to say exactly who. Obviously, I probably shouldn't do that. But I was working for someone and getting paid really, really good money for a 9-to-5 job that was causing me so much emotional trauma. I was working in customer service as my field, right? My mom taught me how to do that at a young age. So she was like, as long as you know how to do customer service, you'll always have a job. But what they don't realize is a lot of these customers, because we're all customers to someone, are just nasty on the phone. Nasty on the phone. I was working during the pandemic in a position that was pretty much to make sure that people got their pandemic assistance, some sort of pandemic assistance, okay? I'm not going to say exactly who, but I'm alluding to, so hopefully you put two and two together. So I was helping during the pandemic, a time that's already rough and traumatic for many of us. I'm losing loved ones left and right. I caught COVID. My spouse caught COVID. Like, it was a whole thing. And I'm on the phone every day getting told that I should end my life because they aren't receiving what they feel like they need right then and there. And I'm not gonna lie to you. Some of these people were in situations where, it was an easy fix and they could have got it months ago, right? But a lot of people don't realize when they call into places, it's a much better situation to have the person on the phone be your ally than it is to be your opponent. If you are fighting someone, and this is just a quick, I have ADHD. This is a quick sidebar. If you are calling somewhere and the person that answers the phone, right, you have no idea, A, what they're going through. Their mother could have just passed away. And they had to go to work because their boss threatened to fire them if they didn't come in, right? This is very, very plausible. We all know this. A lot of jobs don't care about their employees. I said what I said. So you don't know if you're calling somewhere and the person that's on the phone literally just had to bury their mom and is trying to feed their kids. They really don't get paid enough to do what the world they're doing because quiet as it's kept, the money for some of these jobs just ain't adding up. 2 + 2 don't be equal 4, okay? And then you're on the phone and you're yelling at them and you're calling them all kinds of names and you're telling them that they're horrible people for doing what? Clocking in? Waking up and thinking to themselves that they need to feed their household. Not to mention that they probably didn't even want to come in that day because they were so emotionally distraught from dealing with whatever they had to deal with. And now you're on the phone being just a class, so many words. That type of stuff really irritates me. But anyway, back to the topic at hand. I was working for this place, and I was on the phone every day getting told that I should end my life, that the service that I was providing, when I'm an overachiever at minimum, okay, because of my ADHD and because of the way that my mom raised me, I am always trying to go above and beyond, but I was still being told that I wasn't doing enough. You're not doing enough. You're not helping me enough. I need this resolved right now, and you're not able to do that. And then you do with whatever establishment you're working with, right, or for, and they're telling you that you need to be on the phone and you need to get it done within 3 minutes. Okay, for those of you who ever worked call center, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Resolution, right? One call resolution. Don't want them to call back in. Okay, you don't want them to call back in, and you want to get the situation taken care of within a certain amount of time. It was a lot. It was a lot. I was dealing with a lot. Okay, dealing with that job. My grandfather passed away in March of last year. Okay. My family is in an uproar, right? We have my mom obviously just lost her dad. I'm the oldest of my mom's children, so y'all know how Black families work. Hopefully, if you're listening to this, you understand the way it works. But if you don't, let me give you a little breakdown. Generally, the oldest of the person going through, the oldest child is the one who gets used kind of like a crutch. At least in a lot of households, minority households, that's how it is. The oldest is like the other adult or the other parent if they have younger siblings, and they're the ones who get the brunt of whatever's happening. So my mom lost her father. I lost my grandfather, but it was more like it was being seen that she just lost her dad more than it was being seen that I lost my grandfather too. So I was holding my mom together. Okay, so I'm going to work every day and being told that I should end my life because people aren't getting what they get. Not to mention I was working from home. So I know that some people say, oh, they close the door after they leave their office so that it doesn't follow them, but I was already home, so it was following me everywhere. So I have an unstable, unhealthy job that is paying me not lots of money, a good earning, right? My grandfather just passed away. My mom is unraveling. And I'm like juggling. I have my own household I'm trying to keep together. I'm trying to keep my mom together. For those of you don't know, I also have I have 2 little brothers. The very youngest one is not even 10 years old yet. Okay. So, you know, it's juggling. I am over here doing acrobatics. And money's not coming into my, okay, fast forward. So I had started this business after I ended up pretty much losing that position, right? I had to go to my grandfather's funeral, so I was no longer able to work there because they had some type of attendance thing, and it was a whole lot. Okay. So I then ended up starting my own business. Right. At the time, nobody was talking about how difficult it is. Everybody was like, oh, start your own, invest in yourself, right? Y'all, I know all of y'all have seen it, right? It's always invest in yourself, start your own business, yada, 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 yada. All these different people were like, oh, it's great over here. I got thousands of orders and all this other stuff, right? And I'm like, bet. You never have to convince me to invest in myself if I feel like there's going to be a turnaround, like ever. So I start my own business. I have a lot of girls that are like interested. I'm starting to have these events and people are showing up. And I'm like, great. Then I'm starting to realize like, you're investing a lot into food, drinks, your energy, you're, trying to get everything together. I don't have a 9-to-5 income right now, so my house is unstable. Rent's not being paid or on time. I'm having struggle with my bills. I am drowning, right? Drowning, and also trying to keep this business going. And then when I was like, well, what I'm investing into it and what I'm getting out of it isn't the same, so I need to change the trajectory of what we're doing. And I decided I need to start charging for this. This is a service that I'm giving. I'm giving a safe space for these women to come to talk and to enjoy themselves and all of that. Crickets. Yeah, it kind of ended up spiraling from there. And then I was just kind of like, well, Dad, now there's nobody coming. The support is different. No one's even talking about it anymore. And it just kind of felt like I'm drowning. I'm drowning in the ambition to try to get myself somewhere that I've never seen someone go before. I'm drowning in trying to keep my house afloat and feeling like I'm doing it all by myself. Like I am just, child, here come the tears. We're going to keep it together. But it was just a lot. It was a lot. And then, which I talked to my therapist about this before. I'm sorry for the dramatic pause. But I like to start tons of different things, right? I am a jack of all trades. So I like to do 15,000 things at one time. I like to invest into doing tons of different things and doing what thrives, what my passions, fuel. I am a butterfly when it comes to like, ooh, I know how to do this and I know how to do this and I know how to do this. Girl, if you need your nails done, I know how to do that. If you need, individuals, poetic justice braids, I know how to do that. Like if you need, like I'm all over the place. If it's something creative, I know how to do it. Or I have the ability to master it within a very short period of time. So for me, I didn't know that I had PTSD and so much trauma until one day I got an eviction notice. And, I'm not a stranger to being, going through it. I've been living on my own since I moved out to go to college. So, not to call myself old or anything, but, it's been some years. So I know my way around an eviction notice or, 3-day, warning or whatever. But it got to the point to where I wasn't feeling useful. And part of my trauma, and more that I'm divulging about myself, comes from my mom making me feel like if I'm not useful to her, then my purpose is equal to none. So for me, feeling like I was useless and that I wasn't bringing any money home, I wasn't able to assist my, my counterpart, pay for my own things. I'm a Black woman raised by a single Black mom. Okay. One thing I'm 99% sure that we all have been taught, if you fall into that category, is make sure you got your own, right? We're always taught, make sure you have your own. Make sure that you're able to do for yourself. And of course, this is, at least in my mom's case, this was her trauma that she was trying to teach me so that I wouldn't fall into the category of the people who learned that trauma the hard way, or that lesson the hard way. But instead, what it taught me is that depending on other people is hard. That's a no-no. We don't do that. You need to make sure you have it for yourself, right? Anywho, so with that being said, now that you know a little bit more about me and what initiated the conversation, I kind of really want to get into the meat and potatoes. I have ADHD, y'all. I'm going to say it for probably the first couple episodes so y'all can get warmed up to understanding the reason why I think the way I do. But meat and potatoes is really important to me. That is what I call getting to the fact of it all. Let's get to the actual point. Which again, I have, and this is a little sidebar. I have a little piece of paper, which I'm holding in front of the camera if you're watching me, that literally tells me what I'm talking about. So if I stray off a topic, I can see the piece of paper and get myself back to what I was talking about. And it's written really poorly and like orange, orange color pencils, because that's what I could find before I started. But anyway, I saw the paper and it just was like, you might want to tell them what you keep looking at. Anywho, so let's get to the meat and potatoes of it all. Having PTSD, depression, social anxiety, regular anxiety, okay? There's levels to all of these things. And being a business owner, in the 21st century. It's hard. Like, I don't understand how more people are not talking about this. And if they are, please do leave a comment, or, just DM me, let me know where they're talking about it. Because I want to get with the people who are talking about it. Because I have a Facebook group called Brown Girl Utopia. Many of us are business owners. Okay. Out of the many of us that are business owners, many of us struggle with mental angst. And when I say angst, I mean depression, anxiety, all the strains, the levels to it, the PTSD, the CPTSD, the ADHD, the ADD, whatever it is. Okay. And no one's really talking, at least not that I've heard, about how hard it is to get yourself motivated and to keep yourself in the game when your brain is battling you. Like, y'all, that is just hard. That is just so hard. Because as many of you know, I'm hoping anyway, if you don't know this and you don't have your own business and you do work a 9 to 5, there's not a whole lot of support out here. I mean, buy black and, all of that is a thing, okay? It is a thing. But for at least the women that I have come across that own their own businesses, not a lot of them are seeing success in what they do, or not success. Let me rephrase. The support in what they do. So a lot of your support at the beginning especially comes from you. It comes from you. Because all the people who are surrounding you are most likely telling you that you can't do it. Right? And then you decide that you're still going to go forward and you're going to follow your path and do what you feel like you're called to do. And then you get past all the people and then you get down to just yourself. And then yourself is telling you in the back of your head, now, girl, you heard them say that you can't do this. You know you can't. And you know it's a lie. It's an absolute lie. But when that voice comes up and it's the first thing that you hear in the morning, sometimes that's just enough to say, man, I'm tired, y'all. That was more me speaking and not the topic at hand. But it gets heavy. It gets so heavy. And there's not a place that tells us that it's okay for it to get heavy and we got this. And that is the goal of Soul Sister COL and Brown Girl Utopia, is to give us a space to do those things. But when I tell you that even just even the fact that I am promoting those spaces for us to have them, the support in having them is like crickets. There's so many of us that literally battle to get out of bed every day. And then when we get out of bed, we're devoting all of our time to our kids, our spouses, and then we turn around and we put in more of us into our businesses. Just to post them, promote them, talk about them 24/7, tell a friend to tell a friend, comment on this, share that, create a whole ad on Canva, and still see nothing in return, or very little if that. And then we turn around and we're trying to tell ourselves these affirmations and we're getting ourselves going and we're like, you got this, and you're a millionaire, you're wealthy, you're abundant, you're beautiful, you're smart, you're, talented. And, then it comes the day where you just don't feel like that ish is true. Or you're just tired of telling yourself and you want to hear it from somebody else who understands what the world you go through every day. It gets hard. It gets so hard. Y'all. Y'all, I don't know about y'all, but baby girl over here is tired. I'm drained. I am drained. We have gone through a global pandemic. Most likely, if you're listening to this, you have also lost someone, if not several someones, to this global pandemic. And on top of all of that, they want to tell us that we have to go into work, smile, be social, talk to people, but keep 6 feet. But if you get sick, still come in. Go get a test though. But if it's not serious, then you need to come into work. Oh, and then if it is, take 5 days, but we need you back in because we have things that we're trying to accomplish. Not to mention the things that you yourself are trying to accomplish. And now it's winter and it's flu season and everybody's getting sick. Everybody's getting sick. They don't know if it's the flu or if it's COVID. People are going through mental anxiety just stepping outside. Interacting with people now is even mid. Have you ever seen that TikTok? Mid. It's mid. It's like, Then you have people like, hey, and I'm not, this podcast is not for political reasons or to tell you that I agree or disagree with anything when it comes to this whole COVID situation, vaccines, no vaccines, okay? Do what you feel comfortable doing. That is what I'm going to continue saying. As long as you don't make a victim out of anybody else and yourself, I am Gucci with whatever it is and I support whatever it is, okay? But now you have every media outlet is talking about the vaccine. The vaccine, the vaccine, the vaccine. The vaccine, the vaccine. Everybody's getting vaccinated. And then if they're not vaccinated, then they're not vaccinated and people are making them feel bad about it. Then people are making the people who feel vaccinated bad about it. And it's just like, whoa, there's a lot of stuff happening right now. And you want me to talk to Susie Q about her phone bill? Like, yo, I just lost my whoever, my cousin, my aunt, my spouse. Oh my God, I could not even fathom. Oh my God. Lord. This is a time for healing. And it's like consumerism isn't slowing down long enough for us to heal. They want us to keep trudging on, keep doing it. Which, I mean, if you manage to get through all of these different transformer versions of the original COVID and you haven't gotten it or have a loved one that you've lost because of it or anything like that, then, okay. If you haven't developed or found out that you had previously a depression, anxiety, strain of some kind, and you went into that global pandemic and came out the same, then by God, I do want you to comment and let me know. Because I don't know if I really am curious on how that happened. Excuse me. Or if I'm just so intrigued on the type of person that you are. Because everybody that I know, my circle and then the ones connected between a similar person, have all been affected by what we just gone through. You were literally told to not come out of your house. Excuse me. In some places, they had the National Guard standing outside, ready to escort you back home. Like, we have gone through some ish. Excuse me. But anyway, so y'all know how I feel about long videos, but this needs to be talked about, so I'm willing to put in all the time that's needed. I do want to let anybody who's listening to this that feels like they don't want to continue on, that I am here to talk to. I have gone, I have been there, and I am still on some days a foot away from where you are right now. So please do not hesitate to reach out to me. This is the reason why I became a life coach. This is the reason why I became someone. I decided to take myself from behind the scenes and put myself in front of the camera so that I could let people know you have someone here. You're not alone. You're not. I still have my days, yes. But thank God, through therapy, I have learned tools that I'm more than happy to teach. More than happy to give to the next one. Okay? So if you ever feel like it's something that you need to talk about, or you don't have the support in your home, I'm here. I'm here. I'm a comment, a DM, a message away. Just do me a favor, because I do get spammed, obviously, that you just let me know who you are up front, and just let me know that you've heard my podcast, and that you just need an ear. Okay? I'm here for that. I'm definitely here for that. If you want to schedule an actual coaching session, you can also do that. I'm more than happy to do that with you as well, and actually dedicate a good, however long you decide to schedule it for. I think right now I have it set up for like 45 minutes to an hour, and we can sit there and really just get into it. Okay, I have no problem with trudging through the darkness with you if you need someone there. Sometimes all you need is to know that if you reach out your hand, someone will grab it. I'm more than happy to do that. All of this to say, it is hard out there for a pimp. I don't mean to make jokes. It's just a coping mechanism. But y'all, I legit recently went to court at the beginning of this year. Way to start off a year. Went to court to battle a situation, and to turn around to have another situation pop up. And baby girl is tired. Okay, y'all ever see that TikTok or that video where the guy is like, these weapons formed against me, Lord, are prospering. Some days it feels that way. Honest to God. Some days it feels so heavy and so dark and so cold. And all you can do is feel it. And it sucks. It's icky. It's so icky. But I get it. I do. Having PTSD and trying to go after my dreams of not sitting somewhere in a 9-to-5 and being pretty much told that I'm useless is a struggle that I'm willing to go through. It's hard as hell, y'all. But I'm willing to do it. I'm willing to do it. It's worth it for me. It's worth it. Because my kids, if I have them, if I adopt whatever I decide to do, they will know that mommy did what made her happy. Mommy did what made her happy. And for me, that's big. I grew up in a single parent household where my mom was never really happy. She was always drained, tired, depressed even, maybe. Sad, always dealing with other people's stuff, or always feeling like she didn't get to live out the life she wanted to live. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing it. Now, regardless of the fact that me and the parent that I do have left, because my dad passed away when I was 8. Forever a daddy's girl, though. Don't get it twisted. Um, but even with my mom here, we don't have the best of relationships, which that would be a whole nother episode, because I'm hearing a lot of us, black millennial women, and even older, don't have good relationships with their mothers, and that is something we also need to dive into, but this is not the time or the place. Well, not the time. Definitely the place, not the time. Sometimes it is easier to think that your absence would be more beneficial than you struggling. Sometimes it's hard to fight off those demons. It's hard to deal with that voice in your head that you adopted from somebody in your childhood telling you that you're not good enough, or that it's more than just that, and there's so much going on, and you're spent and you're tired and you're just exhausted, and I get it. I completely get it. But I'm here. I'm here. And I know that if you're listening to this, you are worth love. You are love and light. And every time you talk to me, baby girl or boy, I am going to speak life into you. Why? Because I have the ability to see the light in everyone else, sometimes even more than myself. A lot of us are breaking generational curses. A lot of us are going through things that our parents didn't have to go through. And trying to get them to understand that, trying to get loved ones and family members and friends to understand that kind of thing when they just don't get it, that's a lonely road, yo. It's lonely. It's rough. It's thick. 2 C's, no K. Like, I just want you to know, if you are going through anything that's heavy and you need someone to talk to, I am here. I am here for that reason. If you need to schedule an appointment with me, or if you just need to have a little chat. Now, granted, don't y'all be blowing up my inbox trying to chat with me for the free for 4 hours and some change. Love you, baby. But we just sat here and talked about how business is tough. And my sessions aren't greatly expensive either, because I know my audience, so I priced it for my audience. So trust and believe, if you need a session of any kind, everything is on my website, which my website is always not too far away from this video or this audio, because that is what we do. Or you could just Google my name. Why? Google me, baby. Y'all remember that song? I am that old, okay? But yeah, I'm actually really surprised I didn't cry. I didn't do my makeup because I thought I was going to like sit here and boohoo cry, but I kept it together, which I'm really proud of. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I want to talk about before I let you guys go. Looks like I've been talking for about 38 minutes. This is a biggie. You want to just sit here and chit chat until 40 minutes? Because I have some things that I need to talk about anyway. That would be the end of the sad stuffs. Let's end this on a high note, okay? We're all vibrational. Let's end it on a high note. So, this past weekend here, child, I went to the short north. For those of you who are in Columbus that are listening to this, I went to the short north, which is a touristy area. For those of you who don't live in this area, where there's all these shops and stores and clubs and restaurants and things. Well, I went there to go to my favorite pastime, is what we're gonna call it. For those of you who know what Axis is and all of that, then okay, For those of you who don't, you don't know. Anyway, so I went to Axis, and child, can we please talk about how every time you are out and about and having a good time, there's somebody, and I'm not going to put it on an entire race, even though I know that we're pretty sure that it generally falls on a certain shade of people, who's always in your personal space. There is no personal space. COVID is a thing. And even before COVID was a thing, personal space is very much so a thing. I shouldn't have to use COVID as a reason why you should give me my space. My space is my space. I said what I said. My space is my space. So you wanting to come into my space, invade it, y'all, I got a really funny story. I'm going to try to keep it quick. So we are at Axis. For those of you who are in this area, for those of you who are not, Axis is a LGBTQIA+, okay, make sure I get all my letters, venue. Okay, we're going to call it a venue. And, there's music playing, and I'm with, the one person I came with. We're having a good time, we're trying to anyway, and there's people steadily bumping into me like I'm not there, not saying excuse me after they realize. That's the part that really gets under my skin. It's not that you bump into me, okay, fine, but say, oh, I'm sorry, or excuse me, or my bad, or something after you do it. Don't just bump into me like, oh, you were in my way when I was standing there before you got there. That type of stuff get under my skin, child. Not to mention that I'm a very friendly person. Okay, I keep trying to tell y'all this. I know it don't be seeming like it sometimes, but I'm a very friendly person. I will talk to strangers, okay, have full-blown conversations, tell you that, everything's going to be okay, tell you I like your outfit. I am a very light and bubbly person. Excuse me. I am the person that walks through the mall and passes you and go, ooh, girl, I like your earrings. And, give you a random compliment, tell you, oh, girl, you look good today, and keep it moving. That's the type of person I am. So when people bump into me and act like I'm not there, that type of stuff get under my skin, child, especially when it happens repeatedly. I don't know what the thing is with the lack of personal space. And again, I'm not putting it on a specific people, but I'm pretty sure those who are listening understand what I'm saying. Personal space is a thing, okay? Doesn't matter COVID, non-COVID, Omarion variant, non-Omarion variant, whatever it is. Personal space is a thing. You should always be giving me personal space. Why? Because it's my personal space. How's that concept? I'm not understanding. Kept bumping into me, kept doing the most. But anyway, y'all, we gonna talk about that whole thing another time. Because I don't like being on this for too long. After a while, my throat starts to hurt. I start getting tired of my voice. Child, it'll be a whole thing. I did want to leave this on a more lighter note, though, than what we were talking about. So hopefully if you got what I was putting down, you were able to have a little chuckle because you understand what I'm talking about. If not, and it went over your head, baby, then it went over your head, boo. I don't know what to tell you. Don't know what to tell you. It must mean that you are not the audience that was supposed to understand it. Okay? Okay. I love you all very much. Love and light. I need to find some type of tagline so that I say the tagline and I say I love you and then I'm out of here or something, We're gonna have to figure out what that is. Give me some suggestions or whatever in the comments. I'm here for it. Also opening it up for comments and suggestions for ring lights and mics and stuff. I got me a little mic to start this off with because I was really excited to start, but I want to like invest in this. So give me some input, y'all, on what, if you have any of these things and you're doing your own, like, you know, makeup tutorials or whatever you do, baby girl or boy, give me, or them, they. My bad, y'all. I'm still, you know, still getting around to including all the pronouns. But give me, you know, some suggestions on things. I'm here for it. I'm open. I'm open. I'm open, y'all. If you was looking at the video, you would have seen what I just did, but don't mind me. Okay. So, I'm going to go ahead and hop on off of here because, child, I've been talking for a really long time. It is 4:41, which means it's about to be 4:44, which is one of my favorite angel numbers. So we're going to go ahead and get on out of here so I can try and upload this by 4:44. And I love you all so much. So much. And again, if you need me, reach out. If you don't need me, reach out. Ooh, look at that. So just reach out. Look how that works. Won't he do it? Won't she do it? If you caught it, you caught it. All right. Love y'all. Bye.